What is up, y'all? Manny, Carrera, your real estate resource, and this is episode number 33 of Whiskey Wednesday podcast sessions, where we sit with entrepreneurs, influencers, movers, and shakers over a glass of some fine whiskey. Today, my friends, we're going to be sitting with my favorite type of people. We're going to be sipping on some good whiskey as well. We're going to be sitting with the owners and innovative, creative minds behind Grown Together Vegan Meal Preps. What is up, guys? How are you?
Hey,
Well, cheers. Appreciate you guys being on. Stormy and Josh. Storm and Josh. I called you Stormy because one of my clients, her son is actually named Stormy. I don't know why I just called you that.
It's totally okay.
It's totally okay. Yo, but really excited to have you guys on. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, I've been vegetarian, and I don't say vegan. I don't feel like I've earned the badge because I do eat cheese from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys are a vegan meal prep, which is pretty rare, I think, especially in the city that we're from. So let's kind of start by you guys introducing who you guys are, what you guys do, and we'll go ahead and kick it off from there.
Very cool. Well, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Start to say that. My name is Josh Stokes, and yeah, I'm an El Paso local, born and raised here, and this kind of just fell into place in a beautiful way. It was super unexpected, and we were taking a lot of different turns, but I'm really glad that we ended up doing Grown Together as the meal prep. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. My name is Storm. Man, Josh, my best friend right here.
Let's go.
Been doing all kinds of just friend stuff for quite a while now, and he just came up to me with this idea one day about like starting Grown Together up in. Yeah, originally it was called JJ Stoker's Nutrition, it wasn't even Grown Together, it was just like a concept, anything, and then just evolved, and it's been awesome. It's been great.
That's cool. Well, really excited to have you guys on. So you guys are best friends. Let's say you guys know each other, right?
yeah,
How long have you guys known each other?
notorious friendship.
Yeah.
For sure.
So where'd you guys meet? How'd you guys get in contact with each other?
We just met at a bar, actually.
It was
at the Garden.
Yeah.
When he was working there, and I just went to one of the events just because it was the Garden and everyone was getting drunk on a Sunday.
Yeah. For Trap Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those
It was like a sunburst day party.
Oh, okay.
And then somewhere down, I knew this guy skated, and somewhere down the road, I was like, we ran into Palomino, right?
It was Palomino, and then was it?
It was
Is that hard?
Palomino because me and Mike were
Yeah.
longboarding.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So you guys are skaters. You guys,
yeah,
you shred
we
right away.
shred, yeah.
Shred. That's so dumb.
But no, I was coming back from UTEP one day, and I was longboarding, and this dude was at the park, and he was just skating the basketball courts by himself, and then I was like, we threw down a little shred session, and then started going to Carolina together, and then
That's so dope.
then became best bros. So
That's cool.
best bros business
That's
partners.
really cool.
Yeah.
Things happen for a reason. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. So, talking a little bit about the garden and alcohol, we are going to be drinking on some Monkey Shoulder today. One of my favorite whiskeys. I think it's pretty sweet.
It's super smooth.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah, it's super
So this is your second glass, right, Storm?
About to be third.
About to be third. So you're a whiskey drinker.
Yes.
So you like whiskey.
I do
What do you
like
think
whiskey.
about Monkey Shoulder?
I really enjoyed Monkey Shoulder. I had a very long relationship with Jameson before, but we tried to break that off.
You guys had a lot of differences. Didn't work.
It just worked too well.
destructive couple.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you think about whiskey? The Monkey Shoulder. What does it taste like to you? What are you kind of getting?
Honey.
Yeah.
Honey?
It's a sweet,
Yeah.
oaky,
Yeah.
super oaky.
Sweet.
No, this is actually really good though.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's actually about to be finished. Whoever's getting that next week.
Alright.
But so let's talk a little bit about the business. Grown Together Meals. You guys are a vegan meal prep here in El Paso. Why? Let's start off with the first question. Why vegan?
Okay. And as like a disclaimer, to start this off, I had never expected to become vegan.
Can we put a disclaimer, like a warning? This next conversation
I might change it.
may turn you vegan.
Yeah.
Awareness is coming at you. Really
Actually, one of the guys that we work with, our good friend Fred, he's gonna be one of our partners. He was the first person I've ever heard of being vegan, and I used to give him a bunch of shit all the time, ruthless. Like I'd be eating my chicken sandwich in front of him. Like, oh man, you know, like I would be a dick about it. And then down the road, one of my good friends, Jules, he's like, you know, pigs have feelings, and this, he got a pet pig.
Right.
And so he's like giving me like the whole like, you know, sheet about their intellect and stuff like that. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, that's kind of fucked up. You know, like if you know your circumstance and like there's a sense of camaraderie, you know?
Yeah.
That's who are we to impose our wills like that?
Right.
You know?
Who are we to say you're food and you're not food?
I mean, yeah, sure, we have a prefrontal cortex where we can make some different decisions and, you know, have a little more consciousness. But I think because we have that consciousness, that's a gift, you know? Like, how are we going to exploit everything else that's been given to us on this planet? That's not our positions. We're supposed to be protectors.
Right.
So, and I weaned my way off no pork because I was in the middle of some fucking al pastor tacos and he totally ruined them for me. And I couldn't even finish the plate, man. So I stopped eating pork and then red meat and then chicken and then took a trip to Peru and ate a ton of ceviche over there. I would recommend. But got back into town feeling like trash. Like we just partied too much and like did too much ratchet stuff. So when I got back in town, I was like, I'm going vegan for 2 weeks and I'm gonna not do any drinking or anything like that. And here we are, a year and some change later, still vegan. I'm down to drink some whiskey.
That's cool. So initially this started as kind of you getting a little aware of the situation and then starting little by little taking the red meat off and then the chicken and pork and all that.
Yeah, it was a little different with me. I remember Josh even calling me and he's just like, hey man, because we were going to go skate like Carolina. And he was just like, yeah, I'm actually going vegan now. And I remember laughing my ass off. Like, what the hell are you ridiculous right now, man? Like, this thing is
I think that just ends up going down the circle how you start laughing and then you end up having to tell people and they get laughing.
Yeah, so I was like laughing. I was just like, remember just like, dude, just get over it, like whatever. And then he showed me the book, How Not to Die by Michael Greger.
Yeah,
and then I got
How Not to Die?
How Not to Die.
Dr. Michael Greger, who just goes over just a lot of studies in plant-based diets and
it's an arsenal of studies, man. Everything is referenced, and it's like the references is like half the book. It's insane.
Yeah, that's great. Really? So that was like the first thing that like really started opening my eyes and about the whole health aspect from the plant-based diet. And then after that, my New Year's resolution, while he had his vegan New Year's resolution, was I was going to start watching nothing but documentaries on Netflix. I was going to use the power of Netflix for good, you know, like, you know, just change things up. And then one of the first documents that I watched was Cowspiracy, and then that was just about, you know, agricultural farming and the effects that it has globally.
Right.
And yeah, that's just
it's insane, right?
Yeah,
you look at how much fucking waste is actually going
like,
into.
Wow, there's like two, like, you know, major events that just lined up like back to back, and I was like, let me really look into this now. And then,
right.
Yeah, you're doing this.
So did you take that same approach and start cutting different meats off, or did you kind of just go all in?
So I actually took a trip to New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, so I took a trip back home, and it was in the middle of while we were doing all this, and then also in the very beginning, like I was still just like bartending, just little, you know, bar ratchet, just getting drunk at work every night kind of deal. And then I was working at like a smoke shop during the day, so I would just do nothing but hang out at the smoke shop. So that was like my cycle, man. You know, it was just very just unproductive overall. And yeah, when I did that trip, I just realized I was like, wow, you know, like it's not even anything good happening like back over here. It was just like there's just everyone's just growing, you know, still. And I didn't like it, so when I came back, I just went cold turkey, like completely. I was just like, no, let's do this. And then I ended up like, you know, I stopped working at both the jobs, and I was like, we're going full on into this growing together thing. Like,
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. So I think my experience too, looking back 4 years ago, was kind of something similar to yours. It was just kind of getting more aware of the situation. Mm-hmm. And I think overall, like since I was a little kid, I've always been grossed out with meat. Like my mom used to give me the chicken leg, and I used to bite into the chicken leg and I'd see a vein and I'm just like, holy shit, this is real. Like, this isn't just a chicken, you know? Like, this was living at one point. And I used to get so grossed out, but I remember being in Miami. I lived out in Florida for a couple years, and I was out in Miami, and I just remember watching a ton of Netflix documentaries. I remember putting my head around it and forcing myself to watch those videos that a lot of people don't want to watch, you know? And I realized that going that route and eating that way, for one, it doesn't just kind of clean yourself, or you don't just feel better, but I think spiritually too, you feel a lot cleaner. I have a lot more energy. Over the last 4 years, I could tell you that I outbeat everyone in my work ethic. I'm up the latest only because I have the most energy, you know?
Oh yeah.
But when I did it, I literally went cold turkey too. But for the first 2 weeks, I was
kind of tough.
I was going after the craving. So like I remember the last piece of meat that I ever put in my mouth willingly. I meant like, because I'm eating bacon on accident, you know, like sometimes there's something in your food. I didn't mean it the other way. Sorry. I'm gonna set myself up.
We're here to share.
But I remember feeling like I needed to eat a burger. I was craving a burger so bad, and this was the last
water
piece.
burger, didn't you?
No, I went to Five Guys and I got a big ass burger. I spent $14 on the meal. I bit it, but every time I was craving meat, I told myself, bite it and eat it, but look at it as you're eating it. And after I did that, I was chewing my food and I looked at the burger and that was the last bite. I took one bite, put it down.
Oh,
I threw it. I was so grossed out and I haven't touched meat since.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. 4 years is
It's crazy.
Pretty solid amount of time.
But I think as long as you're doing it for the right reason, like there's not one time that I'm like, oh fuck, I want some ribs, or you know, like I'm super cool without all that stuff.
Like we're trying to figure out how to do some ribs right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make like a riblet dish.
And it's also fun, like, you know, getting in the kitchen, you're just like, all right, let's try to make something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just how are you gonna do that?
Like a fucking
And
scientist.
yeah, exactly. You know,
I am a
seriously.
scientist.
Tell us more.
Josh actually has a degree.
No, yeah,
Really?
I studied biochemistry at UTEP.
Holy shit.
So that's kind of how like this evolved a little further too, because I wanted to get into like I was telling you, microgreens. So I wanted to start producing indoor microgreens, and I was working for a lab. This Dr. Quintana is like a zebrafish lab. So
What is that?
so
Zebrafish.
Zebrafish,
Sounds fucking crazy.
they're little tiny guys, they're about like that.
Oh,
big.
they're real fish?
Yeah, so it's the UTEP's first aquatics model. So I was working on a cancer, like an oncogene, and I was like trying to find out some novel things with that. But yeah, so like I graduated UTEP, got out of the lab. I actually got kicked out of the lab because I wanted to go into more organic therapies for people,
Right.
because the next step would be like, you know, gene editing or you know, animal trials. I mean, we were animal trials already, but further into that, like rats, and then developing like chemos and stuff like that.
Right.
I just didn't have any interest in it, so like I was boisterous about like, all right, cool, like I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna start up this microgreens thing, and then like 2 weeks after that, she hit me up and she was like, hey, I don't think we're gonna be able to keep you in the lab anymore. I'm like, oh.
And that was what you needed.
Yeah, it was kind of like the push, like definitely like the push I needed to go, you know, like just try it out at least. I had another friend who recommended it, but it was nice, you know. But like looking at, I don't know, having that scientific background and then being able to look at things in an objective way, I think that really helped me a lot in my transition to veganism, if you will.
So to put it scientifically, I mean, what are some of the benefits that you see or that you know when going vegan?
So our bodies are just more, are better suited to digest carbs, right? This kind of like goes to that question I was asked earlier. So your body, like you get satiated when your stomach stretches and you have the adequate nutrition in there. If you're eating a bunch of oils and meat products don't fill you up, I mean, it doesn't work, you know. As from a scientific standpoint, like the problem is like there's so much bad stuff, like bad studies, like studies that are funded from, you know, the meat and dairy industry or
Yeah. You see all the
you know, and it's disheartening because there's a lot of people out there that have good intentions that are like, okay, I read this, I did my research, you know, but it's a fallacy, you know, it's inaccurate information, it's misinformation.
And that's just the world we live in, right? And there's it's an information-based world where there's so much
crazy.
info. Sometimes you don't really know what's credible.
I've been reading scientific articles for years, you know, and I still have to go through and I'm like, have to pick it apart and decide, like, okay, you know what, this was actually a good study. You know, for like a layman to read a scientific article and be like, yo, I understand every word of that, is full of shit. Like, there's no way, dude. Like, I mean, unless you're... I mean, I'm not like discrediting anybody's abilities. Like, people are incredible, but...
That's why, like, How Not to Die, I thought was such a great book, because it shows studies like osteoporosis is, you know, so commonly found in the United States. But when you look at regions like Japan, where they don't really have a lot of, you know, cow dairy products, like it's almost non-existent. Like cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the United States, and that just basically doesn't exist in Africa. Like, you know, just little
it's
quick
insane.
facts like that. You're just like, wait a second, like that doesn't happen there. Like, I never even thought about that before. Like,
I used to meet in pod. You used to have people from all countries, everywhere, you know. And I used to meet people from Brazil and from Argentina and all these different places that were like, you guys eat a lot of food here in America. Like the amounts of food that we order are for I met 2 girls from Brazil. They were both sharing an appetizer and they still boxed it up to go because they're like, I'm not used to eating this much, and we're eating the appetizer and the freaking meal, you know, and the dessert sometimes.
And your body adapts to it, you know, like. The body is a very like elastic thing, you know. If you decide, all right, I'm gonna put 3,000 calories down my throat today, like it'll work with it, you know. I mean, something's gonna happen, but that's just kind of in your hands, you know. But
a couple months ago, I forget who it was now. It's something Kelly something. I was listening to a podcast. My favorite podcast is School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. I love it. I'm gonna watch every interview. Like, I'm 2/3 of the way through it. Like, I'm gonna watch them twice actually. It's
that's badass.
Yeah, it's my new thing. But
it's really good though.
She was talking about, you know, different smoothies and how, like, she has a recipe on her website. There's like different columns you can break them up because they prevent the 5 hunger hormones. I think there's 5 hunger hormones from activating and, you know, making you hungry. And then she also talked about this 4-day fast of, you know, being keto for 2 days, so then you don't put your body into shock when you go into a 4-day fast, and then after that it kills off all the microbes in your stomach, you know, eliminating like a lot of cravings. You know, it restarts your metabolism and your immune system. You know,
that's why I say, like, after fast, you're not craving the sweets that you were.
And I did that, and I thought it was, you know, it was great. It was an awesome experience. Like, I think everyone should try it. Like, and it's weird because, like, you know, 4 days sounds like a long time, but like on the second day, I wasn't really hungry. The third day was uncomfortable, and the fourth one was not really awesome.
But it's because you're not used to it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's why you have to go keto for 2 days first, so your body's already used to burning off the fat, like, so it doesn't go into shock from, you know, nutrient deprivation, like.
So let's kind of walk some of the viewers that maybe aren't vegan.
Okay.
What is your first week or 2 like with this diet? Because I have personally been an advocate to converting a lot of people.
Sure. I'll take that.
But a lot of people that I've kind of helped take that path, in the beginning weeks, some people are feeling like shit, you know? So what was your experience like in the first couple of weeks that you guys took on that new diet, vegan?
Man, first 2 weeks, let's see, because I had already started like weaning myself off, you know. I was mostly pescatarian.
So it wasn't so.
Yeah, I was already pescatarian for a while, and even at that, I was still eating mostly veg. And my first 2 weeks, I was feeling like shit anyways because I just got back from the trip and I drank too much. But no, like, I would say if you can just get through the first 2 weeks, like, you're gonna feel some discomfort because you're digesting, you know, fiber, you know, like you're not digesting the fiber, that's non-digestible fibers. Anyways, but you're pushing all this stuff through that your body's not used to. So yeah, there's gonna be some discomfort, you know, you might be a little farty. You know, I know Storm is.
No, it's the worst.
It took him another one. He's like,
how dare you?
Wait, hold the fuck up.
No, but like, okay, so you make it past that first 2 weeks, right? And then man, like blueberries start tasting better, you know, like apples
Oh,
start
I
tasting
agree,
better, and
yes.
like you feel lighter. Like when my first at the end of my 2 weeks, because that's how this started. The end of my 2 weeks, I literally felt like my blood was doing a better job. Like
You felt the circulation.
yeah, I felt like it was just my body was just like, all right, this is the shit we needed. Like,
Yeah. Like, hey, what's up, Josh?
yeah. And then like another side note, so I've been all plant-based for a year, and I've always worked out, you know.
Right.
And at this point in my life, you know, I'm pushing 30. I'm 29 right now. I'm stronger. I feel more capable than ever, you know. And it's a great feeling, you know. So, and I definitely attribute a large part of that towards being plant-based.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
So for my experience, like I quickly mentioned earlier, I was a little bar ratchet. Like I was already just drinking so much, it didn't even matter. Like, honestly, my body was
already
like,
feeling
yes,
shit.
there's something to hold on to life.
Microbiome.
There's something green in here.
Yes, seriously. That first 2 weeks was completely different for me. Like I just didn't drink. I was just like completely, like absolutely against it at the time because I really did enjoy it, but I realized how much it was, you know, overtaking my life almost. You know, like it was just like I said, getting drunk every shift. Like it was a lot of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my body started feeling amazing, and then I also fluctuated a lot, weight a lot. I went from like 210, and then I dropped down to like 170, and then from today I weighed myself at 190. So I'm just like all over the place. Like, you know, I experimented with you know, the fast and everything. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's just progressively learning and you know, how to optimize your body, because I mean basically is no perfect diet. The diet that you need is what your body demands, and since you're always doing different things, like you fall and get a cut in your arm, like your body needs something to heal that cut, so you need to change your diet according to what, you know, you're going through or you're doing. And so yeah, it's just, I think it's just, now that I understand my body better, I'm not, you know, drunk at work all the time. Just a little bit here and there. So yeah, it's been a great experience overall, man. It feels great. Like,
and what you were talking about earlier with the like the mental and like the spiritual.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I definitely feel that, you know.
Right.
Like I just got, okay, I've been like flirting with meditation for a while.
Bro, you didn't follow my story.
I saw your post. It was almost 2,000 minutes, I think.
Bro, I've been meditating every day. Granted, there has been a couple days. I mean, in the last 145 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been...
Damn, 145 days?
Bro,
That's
I've been meditating.
awesome.
They've been meditating too.
That's
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think... I'm telling you, like, this was just super recent ago. Like, I used to get super bad anxiety. Really bad. Like, I'd be up till 4 in the morning just like... like, I need the sun to come up already, you know? Like, hurry up! What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
What are you doing on the other side of the world?
Hurry up! And meditating has just changed everything. Like, it's a freaking game changer for sure. And I think incorporating a strong diet too, like,
Dude, it's like you're
you know?
literally priming yourself to perform the best way
Yeah.
you can, you know?
Now there are such thing as dirty vegans too, right? I don't know if
Yeah,
you heard
for
that. Because when I started, I was dirty, bro. And what I mean by dirty is, you know, just fries and carbs and nachos and whatever I could that wasn't meat but wasn't healthy either.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized too, like, that's when I started seeing my weight fluctuate. I started gaining weight and I was like, holy shit, I should be losing weight, you know?
Yeah.
But incorporating a lot of greens, I think, I just personally love it. I think our body really needs it. And at the end of the day, that spiritual thing is there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like this, like, I mean, animals know what's up. They're smart, you know, cows, pigs,
Yes.
all these animals are super smart. They tear up just like we tear up.
Dude,
they
it's
feel
so
pain,
sad.
they feel fear just like we do. So, I mean, when animals are all, and I mean, granted, if you eat meat, like, do you, but just my opinion, I mean, if animals are all online and they know what's about to come, you know, and they're feeling fear and they're scared and they're crying and they're terrified, and then they get, you know, the process cut up and everything, you're eating in turn those feelings, you know?
Absolutely.
That goes into the blood, that goes into the body, and I think
there's some like serious biochemistry in that.
yeah, and I think there's a huge correlation with. I remember eating meat, and I remember almost after every single meal feeling just like shit. Like was either in a bad mood. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was super full. I didn't want, I was just like, ugh. And now I'm like, I could eat as much fucking vegan shit as I want, and you're like feeling super light after.
That's also one of the things we try to put in the meals too. Like we try to make them more balanced overall too.
Right.
So it's not just like you were talking about dirty vegans and stuff. Like we have certain parameters. Like we like to go over any carbs for a single dish ever. Like that's just one of the.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like as we do
minimum
the
protein
macro
requirements,
counts.
like.
Yeah, we do the macro counts for and calorie counts for all the meals as well. So, we also know exactly the science breakdown into the dishes as well.
That's cool.
So we have to alter a recipe according to something being too many carbs or not enough proteins or whatever. We adjust the recipe before.
So you guys obviously here you go. Fill yourself up. You're empty over there.
It's like this was the podcast.
Just drink straight out the bottle. So both you guys took this vegan route. You guys started eating vegan. You guys. At one point, did you guys get to this idea of okay, let's start a meal prep business now? Where did that come from?
Honestly, because I switched over. So initially, it started as JJ Stokes Nutrition, and the whole point of that was because, like I mentioned earlier, like reading scientific articles is difficult, So I was like, well, you know what? I can start this up and kind of break it down and like help somebody understand this. So initially, that's how JJ Stokes Nutrition started. If you go to like some of the first posts on Grown Together Meals Instagram, you'll see like real long, wordy, scientific jargon, So we're doing that, and then I was cooking a bunch, and I'd post the food, and then started getting inquiries like, hey, do you do meal prep, et cetera, et cetera. And from there, it's like one of my good friends, Kim, she's like, just give it a shot, try it out. She runs her own meal prep company, the Right Bite. And so we just gave it a shot and started running with it. People were loving the response, and then we just we went a little further into it. But Growing Together Meals came along. Like when I finally asked Storm, I was like, dude, he was already helping me. I was like, yo, let's just partner up and make this something real. And that's when we changed the name and got more serious. Yeah.
That's cool. Where did the name come from? Where did you guys get that name from? What inspired it?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that name for, I worked at Craft and Social, and I was always
the sandwiches are dope.
So good.
They have that vegan sandwich, right? There's a jam.
The Bella Nasty. It's a Bellanzana. Yeah, no, they have a couple of good items.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
No, but it started as Grown Together Farms, and just kept bouncing this idea back and forth, like some of my regulars, and over time it was just like Grown Together was gonna stick, and it was like it just needed to be that, and I didn't want that good name to go to waste. So it was very natural.
I didn't want it to get taken on Instagram.
Yeah.
So obviously, vegan. I think just the idea of being vegan is very new to a lot of different people, a lot of different cities, a lot of different states. Knowing El Paso, like we know El Paso, right? How do you feel like El Paso's adapted to, that kind of community, the vegan community? Is there a vegan community here in El Paso? And if so, what is that community like?
Absolutely. I think the vegan community itself is actually very tight, like a tight little niche in its own. Like when I look at, other vegan restaurants like Lick It Up or The One Grub and Queen's Table, you'll see a lot of the same people liking this, photos or commenting on it or following pages.
Everyone meets at the shop and they go to it.
Exactly. And they just pass it on. We've also seen the word of mouth spread, very quickly. And it's just a very friendly, positive community itself. It's super supportive and it's awesome. Seeing everyone just enjoying food, really.
And everybody's super supportive too. If you talk to anybody, like you say, hey, I'm thinking about going full vegan. What do you think about this? You're gonna get a lot of people with positive responses to you. It's everybody wants to help out. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that in town for sure.
Strong sense of community.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're super appreciative of the community because it's helping others kind of open their eyes a bit, and it's non-discriminative, you know, it's not discriminatory, so it's nice.
Now, are only vegans ordering your meals, or are you guys?
Probably not.
So, what kind of clients are you guys getting? Who are your clients?
So our clients, it's kind of funny. It's so the males, it's from a range of like 25 to 35, but like the women, it's like 21 to like 30.
That's
like
so crazy that you have the demo right there.
Yeah, straight up. Like that's like the majority of the age and demographic, male to female.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too, because, well, I mean, it's in a constant state of flux, you know. We've also noticed that depending on the menu for the week, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to get a lot of like or like people that might be curious, you know, like if I'm saying, okay, mole burrito, right?
We're about to try some more.
You know, somebody who's like, well, you know, I'm not vegan, but I'm curious, so they'll jump on board for the week, and then once we got you once, you know, come back.
They always come back for that mole burrito. So, how do you feel like your ratio has been from, you know, people curious to then people kind of sticking to?
It's been spreading really well, you know, word of mouth, like I said just briefly ago, it's just wildfire, you know, and
Yeah,
it's also
for sure.
that we see a bunch of repeat clients as well. It's, you know, they may not order one week just because the menu does change each week, and it's another fun thing. You know, we can all get together and just a lot of the times just like maybe Barnes and Noble, just so you can get a bunch of different cookbooks, and we'll be like, what do you think about this? How can we do this? And we just have a group meeting.
Try to veganize just whatever.
Whatever.
Every fucking
what do you
thing
think for next week?
I want a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Spicy chicken. If I do crave anything, bro, I used to work at Chick-fil-A. I used to eat Chick-fil-A all day. So back in the
We
day.
actually have a fried chicken recipe I've been waiting to
Really?
unleash.
What's been your number one seller?
Shit, we've been getting number one sellers. New number one sellers every week.
Yeah, seriously though, like it's been progressing each week. You're just like, all right, this is the most we've ever done.
Yeah.
And the next week you're like, this is the most we've ever done.
Yeah.
And the third week you're like,
This is the most we've ever done by a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, so let me ask
progressing.
you this. What's your personal favorite dish that you guys have each created?
Oh my god.
uh,
That's a loaded question.
yeah, that's loaded, like, you know, towards innovation, towards flavor profile, towards cuisine style, like towards effort and putting into the prep itself, like. So recently we just got like some blades for this RoboCoop that we have, this food processor, and it just makes cutting vegetables and prepping food so much easier. Before just cutting like literally 50 pounds of mushrooms by hand, just cha for 2 hours.
Like this forearm.
Like, these are powered by mushrooms.
So disproportionate.
It's a bit of a workout. Like you have these huge like pots, and you're just like
Like when you have to ladle,
Your shoulders tired all
70
day.
to 100 something of anything. This main vein
all
right
the
here.
all the
like,
muscles you never knew
pumping.
existed.
oh, it's so bad. Like your back gets tired,
Yeah.
your feet are so sore. A lot of these cooks are brutal.
It's
It's
so
been a lot of
tough.
learning how to scale to it as well. Like
So talk to me about who's behind the kitchen. Do you guys have a crew, or is it just you two right now?
So it started off as just us at first, but we reached out to a couple friends, and like Fred is one of the guys who's going to partner up with us as well. Our buddy Corey, it's been working with us a lot as well. He goes to all the meetings, helps out with the cook itself, the deliveries and everything. So it's super valuable to us as well. And then we have a couple other people that's up here and there, like helping.
So you're driving the team now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're picky.
doing that.
Yeah.
We've been looking into different kitchens just because we're just growing so fast. It's just, what we have is sustainable, barely, but we're definitely
Make it
going to outgrow it
Yeah.
very, very soon.
How long have you guys been in business for?
Since, like August.
Yeah, our official. So August was like when we formed the corporation, and November we got our license in, so we're official. So, I mean, we're pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah, very young.
Like I
Pretty
said,
young, but
couple
making
months
some,
overall.
definitely making some noise. I think you guys are. I've seen you a lot on social media. I heard today about the mole burrito, not from Violet either, from
Okay.
other people. I'm kidding. Yeah, I saw the burrito all over Instagram.
I just tell them like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, but that's really cool. So talk to me about the innovations. Who's creating the menus? Where are you guys getting your inspiration from? Are you guys kind of listening to what people want, or are you guys kind of sitting behind there and actually thinking of?
It's a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah,
we definitely do
definitely.
take recommendations or requests, so we're just like, oh, this sounds really cool, or send us a link to a recipe. Like, we'll try to figure out how to incorporate that into, 1 week's prep.
Yeah.
And we definitely listen, very often to those things. And I mean, that's just another thing. It's fun. Like, also, whether it's like a YouTube channel or just a book that we find, like, I mean, it's always changing and progressing. Sometimes it's like someone's homemade recipe that they're just like, yo, I want to try this. Like, my aunt makes it and it's awesome. So,
Yeah.
it's such a wide range.
It's every week it's new, so
Yeah.
we're taking all recipes and
Yeah. Has there been anything yet that you tried and you're just like, holy shit, we're not gonna do that ever again?
There's so many.
There's so many.
I can't stand.
Oh, dude.
I was
Like,
talking
there's
about
certain
this
things that we won't
last
touch
night.
anymore.
I was like,
Yeah.
yo, making that many pancakes is like, I spent about 14
That's like my
hours
favorite.
just.
The pancakes?
Oh yeah, me
I love
too.
pancakes.
But I hate making them. now.
Oh, the peanut butter ones,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah,
literally.
dude, she was eating them in front of me, so it's funny
I'm
because I love everything vegetarian, right? But there's certain things that I don't like. And she shows up to my office. She's like, hey, she had barely started ordering with you guys. She's like, I brought 2. Fuck yeah, So she gives me one, and I personally, for some reason, I just don't like hummus and I don't like olives.
Oh, you
I
got that
hate
salad.
those 2. Bro, she gives me that one. It was just hummus and olives, and I was like, I looked at her, I was like, Violet, I don't like this stuff. She's just like, I'm like, dude, I don't know why I don't like it. It's like the most vegan
man.
stuff that you could
Yeah.
get.
Yeah,
like
and it's
the
funny because
pinnacle
I don't
of
like that
vegan.
stuff either. I can't stand olives. Olives,
Yeah,
vinegar,
there's-
salads, most dressings. Like, I don't like the typical vegan foods. Like, I'm just
Right.
nah, man.
Yeah.
But she was an apple.
So then she started eating the pancakes in front of me, and I was like,
Joe, you
do
were
you like
holding out.
hummus?
You were holding out on
Do
me.
you want the olives and hummus? Because I'll trade you right now.
Yeah, making like that many pancakes, like 14 hours of just flipping pancakes, like really takes a toll out of your day. Like,
What,
really.
how long did you spend on that flat that day? It was.
It was like 8, 9
I think
hours.
he spent like at least like at the buy-in 7 hours on that thing.
Really?
I was
It was
there
long. It was
for
like 8, at least 8.
I was there for a
So,
crazy long time.
what are
yesterday.
your responsibilities, when it comes down, because you guys are doing this weekly, right?
Yes.
People are placing their orders weekly. You're behind the
So I mean, it's we always tell everyone like the process starts with us posting a new menu on Friday. Is like absolutely not. I mean, like even today we're coming up with like different recipes. I mean, it's barely Wednesday. We're like, all right, we got to get ready for Friday. Here we go. So
Friday
Well,
the menu comes out?
yeah, so Friday that's when the menu comes out, but we always have a plan established beforehand. One of us will either put it in the spreadsheets, another one will take the spreadsheet. We have templates for doing the calorie counts as well. One of us has to actually make the recipe. Between the both of us, we'll assign like for a day, like, all right, you handle all the messages, the DMs, you do text, because we also do feedback, each week, and like how were the meals, is there any way we can improve, or also, like I said, get recommendations for meals. So we're in constant contact with everyone as
like
well.
follow
That's
up
good.
sale,
Mhm.
That's cool.
So, I mean, yeah, each week is depending on what's happening. It's like you're gonna have to do more calories. Sometimes or recently we've been having to separate the cooks themselves, where we'll go shop on Saturday for things that have a longer shelf life, like a sauce or
Because you guys have to
So-
plan, meal prepping is like, this is 3-4 days. Possibly
So
5
I'll
days.
start off
and there's
the
reheats
cook.
involved and stuff like that.
It's like a pre-cook that we do on Sunday, and then I'll, hold down the kitchen and everything like that with the spreadsheets, while Josh will go get all the produce and, for the actual shop, because the main cook is on Monday. So after I get the pre-prep and all the sauces and, everything that we can get prepped ready for the actual main cook, that's when we all link up together and try to get a good night rest of sleep. It's sometimes it's just so much. Like,
So Monday's the tough.
yeah,
Monday's a
is-
grind.
Have you guys had a Monday off since you started?
We took
Like
the one
two or
when he
two.
went to Jersey.
And then the other one, oh no, we didn't even skip when we went to Denver.
Yeah.
No.
So we've been doing it every Monday except for May of last year, we took 1 weekend off. So,
Yeah.
and then like Christmas, like we like made some special arrangements for like the holidays and stuff. But we've been at it pretty regularly.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really cool. So you guys don't just do the meal prep, right? You guys do a lot for the community too. I see some community.
So with all the extra food that we have, because a lot of the times we'll have, just leftover 5 pounds of quinoa or something like that, and almost every dish has, a giant yield of something. So we try to make meals for the homeless, and then with the Tupperwares, we take them back from, other clients, and then we recycle those for those meals for the homeless. We also, we try to work with, anyone really inside of El Paso. So Kat, as we talked about earlier, before the cameras, we work with her, and she has a client appreciation party coming up, so we're trying to incorporate a sauna yoga studio downtown to connect them, because she was talking about, she wants to have a yoga class and then, some desserts while, our clients get, facials and, or whatever girl stuff done.
Fishy do skin on the seat or something like that.
The fish on the seat,
whatever.
Avocado in the face, and the cucumber.
I think that's vegan. I think the fish eating the feed thing is still vegan.
It's pretty vegan.
I'm so vegan, I let the fish eat me.
The fish eat me. I am plant-based.
like that meme where the brain is like.
Yeah, so it's super cool just constantly reaching out, we saw Oasis, co-work earlier, posted some videos, it was super cool.
Right.
We're on to some seminars with those guys and try to, see what's going on over there constantly. It's
And
great.
the foundation of this company was to, to serve, to serve the community. We wanted to bring out the option of plant-based meals to the general public at a fair price, and serving in that way, but then on top of it,
cooking like this is fucking expensive.
it's just not convenient.
It's
People don't have time
convenient.
for it.
It's expensive. It could get expensive, and it takes a lot of time, right? And that's what you guys are essentially cutting off.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of appeals to all of trying to do. We are trying to make a living through this. We're trying to grow. But I would say in personal development, this business has been the best thing for me in my entire life, to be honest with you.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure, hands down, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's changed my lifestyle in a huge way. I slip up from time to time, the same as anybody else, but this path of development now is, I completely, my mom's also great, but I completely attribute it to starting this Grow Together thing and growing with my bro here. It's been awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super dope, man. Well, you guys are definitely gonna make some big strides here in the city. What do you feel are some of the biggest misconceptions about going vegan? One of them I hear, and you guys could answer this, is I heard this every single time I said the word vegan or vegetarian. Where do you get your protein from?
Yeah.
Right? So essentially, where do vegans get their protein from? Is this like a whiskey? Is it like a pill?
From monkey shoulders, actually.
Actually, you get a bottle of monkey shoulder at night and chug it.
Take it away.
Yeah, sure. The whole get your protein thing, it's first off, people are addicted to protein as it is, we don't need nearly as much as the average American intakes,
Right.
But the best protein sources are plants. And what do you think builds that protein, or builds those animals that you're eating for the protein? It's a plant. They're eating plants,
Yeah.
But pumpkin seeds. It's 13 grams per tablespoon, 2 tablespoons or something like that. Spirulina, if you put a tablespoon, that is a gram of protein right there. Dude, that's insane,
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and it's
Spirulina is actually, I heard that was the most protein dense food in the world, and it's just an algae,
It's an algae?
it's a blue algae, yeah. But
it's what?
but I can definitely guarantee that vegans are going to go protein deficient anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For sure.
The thing that people are always concerned about is the B12, but B12, shit, it's in everything as well. That, what I just mentioned, spirulina has B12, and that's, in a long run, if you're eating a vegan, vegetarian lifestyle, in a long run, and you're not getting sufficient amounts of B12, you might have some brain deficiencies down the road because it's essential in making the myelin sheath around your neurons. So neurodegenerative disease could happen if you don't have enough B12 in your body. But I mean, like almond milk is fortified with B12. You know, like it's everywhere. So you're good. You know,
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're good.
We're actually getting ready to. We're getting to actually start producing some. We're not producing it, but we will be incorporating it some CBD into our meals pretty soon. So we're going to start doing for 50 milligram dose. We're going to be doing 250 upcharge. So one of the ones that we'll be getting actually has B12 in it. It's like a avocado B12 infusion.
Awesome.
It's going to be so cool. We're so excited about that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
Really
it's going to
excited.
be great. Yeah.
CBD everything.
I'm gonna hop on the menu Friday.
Yeah, definitely.
So, talk to us a little bit about the menu. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about food. You brought a little bit of food for us to kind of check out.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if we could sample it. I don't know if we have a fork.
And we also try to do things like whatever is in season, you know, whatever fruits
So,
and berries.
There's a fork.
What
I think I
inspired?
saw fork in there.
Oh, there might be a fork in there. So, what inspired this little burrito? There's a fucking.
What's
Oh my god, my fucking iPad.
There you
Is
go.
this metal? This is perfect for the burrito.
So
So
this is also part of the podcast too, where the loyal fans make it to the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, promo code? You made it this far. Promo code is
It's
Monkey shoulder.
Monkey shoulder.
Monkey shoulder. For your introductory offer.
So talk to us about this mole burrito.
Okay, so this mole burrito, we've got inside. It's filled with kale, textured veggie. It's almost like a picadillo blend. So imagine that. There'll be some. Did we put anything in this one? Yeah, right. So anyways, kale. It's a picadillo mix, so like textured veggie
Fire.
protein. If you haven't had it before,
Really?
but like it looks like ground turkey or whatever. So that's inside. There's mushrooms, lentils.
Holy shit.
This mole sauce is from scratch.
Really?
Yeah, we.
So who's the
Those-
fan of mole here? We tried this.
Neither of us.
Yeah, I actually didn't really like mole to be honest with you, but I really dig this sauce.
Bro.
And then the white sauce
Yeah.
it's a cashew cream that we made from scratch as well.
What is in here?
So yeah, so it's
Bro.
green lentils, brown rice, that textured veggie protein. Then there's the cremini mushrooms, and yeah, we just sauteed all that up. Got some little.
It has a lot of flavor.
Dude, the mole sauce came out so good. I was so impressed
I'm
with.
super happy with it too.
Corey absolutely killed it on that.
Fresh
Huh?
lemon sauce.
And
Sauce
that man was working too because you have to like rehydrate and peel those poblano chilies. I was like,
Have you tried this salsa?
oh my
try
god,
it.
that shit looks like
Very
work.
salsa.
I'm glad I'm shopping right now.
That's fire.
Thanks.
Yo, that is.
And actually, those tortillas are from Zona Central.
No way!
Yeah.
Shout out to Zona,
Yeah, shout out to
Fresco.
Zona, Fresco, Manny. We,
Manny.
yeah, we hit them up on Sunday as part of the shop, and Fred called ahead and he was like, "Yo, hook us up."
That's cool.
So we're good, yeah.
How important do you guys think it is to El Pasoans and pretty much anyone in any city to shop local, to stay local?
I mean,
I mean, super important, man. Like that's what really keeps your city thriving and growing and
Yeah.
expanding. Like that's what makes it unique as well. Like,
giving entrepreneurs opportunities to be the best versions of themselves, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely where the sauce is, and that's like the name grown together.
I'm not getting that shit.
yeah, dude.
Violet and Sosa taking over that fucking burrito and not giving it back.
That's good. But to kind of play on the name a bit, you know, growing together, we envision it growing as a community, you know, growing together like the same way we, you know, thankfully got connected, and
Yeah, man.
you know, it's great.
It's super cool, and that's really what I love about this podcast is I'm from El Paso too, and I think El Paso's definitely seen a shift in everything. You know, El Paso's a super supportive city now, especially when it comes down to local businesses. You just see so many local businesses right now striving, and you see a lot of support coming from that, from the city, you know? So I think it's really cool just to see, you know, people like you guys staying connected with other vegan communities and restaurants and things like that
I
too?
mean, like here coming up in September, we're actually planning for Veg Fest. We're gonna be helping these guys out a little bit at least. We're for sure gonna be a vendor, but we wanna help him because Fred is pretty much taking this thing head on. He's really all in on it. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him for it. But
That's cool.
yeah,
Shout out to Fred.
shout out to Fred Smalley. He's killing it right now. But yeah, so he's doing this. We're getting that Veg Fest set up. We're gonna start throwing more plant-based events pretty soon. Hopefully, bring in some people,
Nice.
some cool lecturers, and just get some more good information out to people. So that's upcoming. We'll be all over the social medias with it and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
So
Blow that out.
yeah, but
Where
it's-
can people find you guys on social?
Yeah.
So I like to play the most on Instagram.
Yeah.
That is my
Instagram's fun, huh?
That is
I love
my
Instagram.
I can't
Other
stand
kids.
Instagram. Or maybe on Facebook. I can't stand Facebook. I
Really?
can't. On Facebook, I'm so over it. Like I see the value in it, and I definitely
Yeah.
understand it. But I mean, things are already growing so fast. Like I don't want to try to work on another platform. Like
Yeah.
I'm over my head sometimes. Like already.
like everything that we still share everything on Facebook that our Instagram has.
Yeah, they'll link together.
But we're just not as responsive on it, you know, like we do need to get better about that.
I
But
agree, but I feel like Instagram just takes a cake when it comes down
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
capabilities.
And also since like Instagram is like one of those quick attentions advertisements, like picture food is such an easy one.
Food is so great, especially at
Yeah, that's
10,
like
10 through 2, 3 o'clock.
right.
Hot spot for you
No
guys.
one
Yeah.
doesn't look
We
at
definitely,
food.
yeah, we definitely pay attention to the analytics.
Oh, yeah. You know the demographic, you know the analytics.
Yeah. So talk to me. What is next for Growing Together Meals?
Oh
Ooh,
man, we're
there's
doing.
so many.
There's like so much shit that we want to do, and
Yeah.
it's so there's a quote.
Go on.
Who is it? Have you ever heard of the book? What is it called? What's that one that I always read? Tools of Titans.
No.
Check it out. Write that
It's
down.
amazing.
It's-
Tools of
yeah.
Titans.
It has it, it's huge, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
it's a big
Tools
one.
of Titans?
it's great.
Yeah.
How not to die and tools.
Shout out to Tim Ferriss.
Man, I just got done.
Tim Ferriss?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about Tim Ferriss. Tools of Titans.
So it's just pretty much like bite-sized, interviews with all sorts of great minds and top performers. But one of the guys is he says, "Don't be a donkey," which is essentially being like saying to not. So like you put a donkey in between food and water, it's not going to know which direction to go because it wants both of those things.
Yeah, just like my
So
dog.
it's getting pulled in two directions, but not getting to achieve its purpose.
Right.
So we're just trying to stay out of that trap right now. The most immediate things is our relocating to a new, bigger kitchen.
Necessities right now.
Yeah. Website launch.
Yeah, I recently finished another book by Tim Ferriss. It was The 4-Hour Work Week, and that really inspired me to just want to outsource in all kinds of ways. We've been looking into getting a virtual assistant and then outsourcing to a firm out in the Philippines. So they would be helping us out, and the
Yeah, you guys want to
the
say
calorie
I'm gonna
counts.
save you guys some time right now.
Yeah.
He can do all that for you. That's literally what he helps me with because it sounds like you guys have a lot on your plate.
It's so
And
much.
The last thing you need to be worrying about is him on how to talk to
Yeah, that's
those things shouldn't be. But that's part of that growing process that you guys are experiencing.
Yeah,
right now,
absolutely.
But it's definitely could help you.
That's
over
cool.
here, too.
Super
That's
down
great
because
to
I
know.
can't stand counting calories
Oh
for
my
all these meals. But it's just something
Insane.
else that we just have to do.
Yeah.
Like, I personally try to wake up at between about 5 in the morning, maybe 6 in the morning, and just get them done immediately first thing of the day.
Really?
Yeah, because I can't stand
It's
that
super
much.
time-consuming and tedious.
Yeah.
That's
And looking at every ingredient in a recipe and then get the calories, grams and
So many numbers and
everything. It's
calculations
like,
and,
carbs,
I mean,
fats,
Excel's a
and
great
proteins,
thing. Excel's a
Excel.
sugars,
Magic.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I guess those are like the most upcoming things is the relocation.
That's
Our
cool.
website's gonna drop this week, right?
Yeah, it should be this week.
That's
So we're having a new it's pretty much setting up our ordering system.
Well, promo it because this is coming out next Wednesday.
So
Oh, yeah.
www.growntogether.net. It's going to be our landing page, so we'll be taking all of our orders through that from here on out. So we usually take orders through via Instagram, text messages, etc.
It's fucking insane, huh?
And and it's a lot of work,
so
you know.
much.
But we're gonna have this landing page. We're also gonna be doing a lot of stuff with like local entrepreneurs. Like we're just gonna make it very user friendly for them as well.
That's cool.
Feature other people's products. So that's coming up. Events. We got events coming up. Plant Powered Pop-Up is going on March 10th. Is that the 10th?
I think it was the 10th. Yeah,
So-
it counts as the 9th.
Yeah, so we have a Plant Powered Pop-Up coming up. That's going to be at Church Bar right next to Zona Central.
Downtown.
Keep planning up that Veg Fest. It's El Paso's first one, so let's make it a
This is
banger.
so cool. I love this shit,
There's a lot
bro.
of things
Like,
going on.
I feel like 2 years ago, like when I first got to El Paso, I was like fiending for some vegan stuff, you know? Like it was hard. Because I'm literally going to fucking Burger King and getting a veggie burger just because there's nowhere to go quick. Oh,
Did you know that Carl's Jr. is serving that?
Yes,
Have you
I
had
tried.
it?
Look at that.
Bro, yes, it's really
No
good.
guilt there.
It's really good.
I still haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's
I still haven't tried it.
It's not
pretty good.
I've been eating Grown Together meals for the last week.
Since August.
so much
Yeah,
leftover
dude,
food. It's
Shit,
just
I'm about
like,
to break this thing.
It's all good.
Again, don't worry. The headphones are for the true fans.
Yeah, this is true fan right here.
I'm alright, I'm good now.
So, really quick, 2 last questions. Are you sure you're good?
some more views.
It's like I've been practicing my yoga practice is strong right now.
You're balancing on 2 legs.
Sure, you better be balancing out.
So, 2 last questions before we wrap up the podcast. I know we're already caught up on time, but what has been one of your biggest lessons thus far? Starting this business and starting, growing and just seeing it kind of take scale. What has been one of the biggest lessons that you guys have learned to this point?
Oh, man.
There's so
You
many
wanna go
lessons.
first? Or I'll go first because he's about to fucking hit
He's
you with
gonna
some
cry.
He's
You're
gonna
crying?
He's gonna hit you with it right now.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson.
For me, I think one of the biggest lessons is like just to go for it, just get started, start working, and then perseverance. If you set yourself out with the right intentions and you're consistent and you're doing a quality job, you're gonna go a long ways. And I think that's, as far as like a business person, like from that standpoint, that's what I've learned the most out of this. Other than that, like straight grit, dude. Like there was this one time we cooked for 24 hours straight. Literally cooked.
A couple times, multiple times.
Yeah, there's been a few of them where we've like had to stay up all night long and then go out and do deliveries.
This last one I didn't get done till 4 in the morning. We still had to be back by, it was like 7:30 just to get ready for the deliveries.
And you guys are delivering.
Yeah, and it's because like we're just pushing our limits. We're pushing our own limits to see what we're capable of, and we adjust. But to get to that adjustment, like it's gonna take some.
You gotta really figure out the business and see it from every perspective, right? Down from the shopping for the products to the making of the products to the delivery of the products. It's like you really have to.
It's all its own project for sure.
That's cool.
For sure. What do you think, Storm?
So my biggest lesson inside of growing together, man, I've learned so much from it, man. Like I feel like I've actually started almost like a new life, from this business itself. So like the biggest lesson I want to say is just that everything you do contributes or takes away from everything, in your life. So even if it's just like a Saturday and you're just being lazy, that's either contributing towards your, recovery, or it's contributing towards your bad habits of being lazy. Like it's just constantly revolving and changing. And then by substituting the negatives in your life and changing it with positives, like you'll start seeing like everything unfold to what you want, and you start creating the life that you want itself. And it started with me with just simple as a diet, and then from diet just to different habits, because I was used to staying up till 4 in the morning anyway, just regularly. And now I'm so strict on my sleep schedule. Like I don't like being up past 10 o'clock. Like I don't like sleeping in past 8 o'clock. Like I like to optimize my entire day. And then I also learned the value of time inside of all this. Just what you really are capable of. When I was talking about the podcast earlier, I made a reference to myself. I was just like, wow, I spent hundreds of hours now listening to podcasts, and getting so much more value out of that versus just watching a Netflix, just learning a new series and just, gaining so much wealth and knowledge, and just, having the capability of just constantly learning, that's just I'm so grateful that it's just a blessing in itself, So it's just like constantly progressing positively by subtracting the negative, substituting with the positive, and everything you do
And
affects
flip
everything.
it and reverse it.
Yeah, it's just reverse it. Just learn so
Zero
much.
feminism. Just made a Missy Elliott.
Remix your
Did we
life.
do that?
Is that a first
That's
time?
the very first time we've ever fucking
Yeah.
referenced Missy Elliott on the podcast.
Okay, shout out.
Shout out
Shout out
Missy
Missy
Elliott. Yo, so last question I end with every single podcast. Being from El Paso, born and raised, I love the city. I love where we're going. I think we're growing at a super fast rate, and it's just really cool to see the direction I see we're going. So with that being said, what are your favorite places to, one, eat here in El Paso? And you can go ahead and throw grown together, but maybe another one?
Yeah.
Because I know you've been eating them since August. Favorite place to eat, favorite place to hang out, and favorite place to go out if you are going to celebrate some.
Shit. One of my favorite spots for sure, 10 Man. I love 10 Man.
To hang out?
Yeah, because like you can just go and play some chess and drink some good beer. And I used to work with Kenji and EO's there, JO's there. Like just Kenji was one of the guys that started up Garden, so I worked for him for a long time.
Okay.
And he's a master, man. He's an absolute inventory ninja. His business conduct. So that's one of my favorite hangouts for sure. I don't really get to hang out very much right nowadays.
What about to eat?
To eat? Oh man, what do you think?
I'm all about the queens.
Yeah, we're
I
big.
love that
Yo,
soul
shout out to
food.
We
That's
need to reach
great.
out to Queen. She needs to be on this podcast. She needs to bring some food.
Everyone
that does food needs to bring some food.
It's like a whiskey
Yeah, you
food
guys-
exchange.
Trading
Queens
and
is my favorite spot.
Yeah, Queens
I'd
is
say.
definitely a big
That's awesome.
favorite. Oh, you know what? The juicery, man.
oh, juice
Shout out to
the
the
juicery.
yeah.
Those guys are like, I really like appreciate them too because they really set a bar pretty high
Yeah.
as far as food quality goes.
Yeah.
You know, they do a really good job.
It's good to find quality. I don't know.
Mhm.
It makes me want to fucking like that mole burrito. Just made me want to. I can't wait for this to be over. We eat the shit out of the burrito.
Dude, Cracked and Social. Fucking Cracked and Social so dope. Later. If I'm trying to go out somewhere, I'll probably go to later.
Later.
I don't really have a go out spot. My hangout spot is the skate park over anything.
That's
North Carolina?
Yes.
The Carrera.
Carolina skate park
Dude.
is my hangout spot over anything. Like, I
That's
don't
dope.
care
I've
what it
spent,
is.
like, I really hope that when we pass away that we're given like we can ask any question, you know? Like what question would you like answered? And I would like to know how many hours I've spent at Carolina.
If you had a
that
genie.
is-
How many hours have I
How many hours
skated
have I
at
spent there?
Carolina?
Seriously, like,
that's my spot, man.
days,
That's
probably
cool.
months.
Some
at
days
this
when I'm
point.
trying to
Yeah.
escape adulting, I'll spend literally like from 10 a.m. till like 8 p.m. Just the whole day there. Just exhausted, can barely walk, all beat up, I'm out of water, just covered in dirt. Like, I lost my shirt a couple hours ago. Like, you know, holes in my
Eating
shoes.
your meal prep.
Yeah. Just dying. It's
Starving.
like, all right, I should go now. Like,
That's
I
cool.
got a long
Dude.
week ahead of me. Like, I got it out of my system. But that's my hangout spot, like hands down.
Mhm.
But my celebration go out spot, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would just say Cincinnati, just because it's it's just such a cluster of different vibes.
Ratchet.
Yeah,
like I can
there is
start off somewhere-
Palominos.
Yeah, I can start off at like Fools and just start relaxing, like ease my way into twerking on the dance floor. 'Cause
Yeah.
I will twerk on the dance
Oh,
floor.
really?
Yeah.
Make sure you guys watch out for that.
This is true. Yeah. And then like the natural beauty out here, like, have you been to Waco Tanks?
No, I haven't. Bro, I know. I haven't done a lot of cool
It's-
stuff here.
It's I actually have a tattoo of one of the pictographs on my back. So
Really?
I got really big into rock climbing for a couple years,
Oh shit.
and I hung out there so much. And
Really?
I really firmly I say that it's a wonder of the world. Like it's so beautiful.
Wow.
There's like pictographs, like you can just like walk around North Mountain and like check out like pictographs from thousands of years ago. It's ridiculous.
What?
There's like javelina out there, like wild pigs.
You can like rock climb, you don't need to
Yeah, it's
naturally.
it's one of the most dense. It's like one of the most concentrated amount of rock climbs in a certain area, like in a like a certain circumference or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, like people come and hang out
Nature
like all
is
year.
awesome, man. So, like, what I like to do whenever I travel is I always take a photo of, something nature hike, and I always put it as, like, my background. So, the one on my phone is when we went to Denver. Oh, I got this notification, whatever. But then I got, like, the one from White Sands. Like, it's always from, like, the last place I went to, just,
That's cool.
to remind me of that last trip and where I want to go to, like, the next one.
That's dope.
So,
Traveling's dope, huh?
so
Definitely.
there it is. Little goats in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on Mount Everest is like the second tallest road in
North America.
North America.
Nice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yo, really excited for everyone to check out your interview and hear a little bit more about you guys. You guys have definitely been doing a lot, and social media can speak for you guys, and a lot of people are really consuming your foods, trying your stuff out. So really excited to, one, get the menu and start ordering for you guys, and two, kind of just see where you guys go. I'm really excited for you guys. You guys
Thanks.
are already going into your first year, and you guys are already having this much exposure, this much, momentum. So really excited to see where you guys go and really put El Paso on the spot, really set that bar for vegans all across the city too. So
All across the country, my dude.
yeah. And for all of you guys watching, make sure you guys tune in every single Wednesday where we have entrepreneurs, influencers, movers, and shakers, just like grown
Shakers.
together meals here.
It is.
Make sure you guys tune in every Wednesday and follow our buddies here. If you guys are hungry, make sure you guys place an
Hit
order
us
too.
up.
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out. Having a little dance party at the end. Just like, doing my thing.
It's like cards to shufflers.
I told you I'll go twerk.
Twerk, bro. Solo session.